my parents were arranged marriage and my mom was too young, so my dad had to like literally feed her and take care of her like one baby and all of that. So I don't think in our generation now we can expect anyone to feed us. They're like,
could happen in films only.
only in films. And I lost her just before I got her into the industry, like debuted with my first film. And she was someone, she was the closest to me in my family. And I had lost her, and I've realized after that that my dealing with death is extremely different than what I thought it would be. I thought I'd be like, drained in tears, like, just like not eating, not, just disconnected from the world. But surprisingly, I was angry. There was a part of me when I was shooting for the film and I was like, how am I going to deal about my parents or my parents not being here anymore? And I don't know, I feel numb about it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to react to it yet.
Do you feel that there will be a sense of regret that we've not gotten time to spend enough with them?
I think I'm already feeling a little sad that I don't get to sort of like stay with them and see them growing up. See, they're born and brought up in Coog, and Coog is such a place that everyone knows everyone there, and that is just a small community. So the second you come out of there and you face the world slaps you on your face and says, you're nobody here. As in my parents, I think as far as I've heard from whatever they've said, that they've always been dealing with something like this. Because having a son in the family generally is like, okay, now there's someone to take care of the properties, But we are two daughters. We don't have any boy in our family. So they were always, said, ki, okay, why do you just have to give your daughter out to someone else and all of that. That's the mentality. So today I stand as a son and a daughter to them. So, yeah, thank you.
There's something amazingly special and magical about the person that I'm sitting with today. Well, this is the third time we are meeting, and I already strangely feel an emotional connect with her. Because I think that she's overtly sensitive and sensible at the same time, and I feel that she values emotions and relationships maybe just the way I do. That's why a film like Goodbye also works so much for me. And welcoming Rashmika Mandanna in conversation with me only on Bollywood Bubble.
My God, when you say something like that, now I can't take you, kids. Oh my God. Now I have to be nice to you.
You are anyway nice to me. Do you know this? There is care that happened.
What fumbling is he going to do now? But what thing was that?
I wasn't fumbling, thankfully. But when people look at me, I'm always gonna fumble.
I was staring at you like this. Were you feeling the glare?
I did. But I have promised myself that when I watched the trailer, I thought that when I'm going to do your interview, it cannot be an interview. Okay. It has to be a conversation, because there are so many things that I've already spoken to you about my feelings. Rashmika, this is such a special film, Goodbye.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the plot line of the movie was till I saw the trailer. For every promo that has come out, it has actually got me in tears. Did you have those moments when you were reading? Because you are also extremely sensitive as a human being. Did you have those moments when it was being narrated to you?
While reading the script, of course, I watched it as a film in my head, and it sort of like went as a breeze. But while shooting for it, of course, it took a toll on, like the crying has to come from somewhere. And a film like this, you can't really cry or laugh or feel emotional from just the actor point, You need to take it from your heart. So I sort of like, that took me a little, like Vikas says, like every shot of me when I was supposed to cry, I would go. So there's like a meter that I have while, crying generally. I reach to the fourth and the fifth, point, and post the fifth point, there's no like stopping. I'll just end up crying like non-stop, right? So Vikas was like, every time you reach that fifth point, I'll just stop you. Because he figured out on the second and the third time he made me do it. And he's like, I can't take this girl crying because, it's really painful. So, I'm just like that while shooting. It was a little, coming from the heart, and it was like exhausting. And I don't like getting too emotional on set
Yeah.
because I just feel like the actors and the director and the crew makes the energy on set, and I don't like it going down in any which way. But yeah, while reading the script though, it went like a breeze, and I love the concept. I wanted to do a film like this, and I wanted it to be one of my firsts, and yeah.
I am very happy this is your first. I'm being honest. Like, as a person who knows you a little bit now and knows the emotional side to you, I feel that this is possibly, there's a part of you in the character that you're playing. I think there's a part of all of us. I remember messaging you because when the Jackal song came out, I am telling you, I broke down. And I can break down any time during this interview because we've been through a pandemic. The reason I wanted to be a conversation is because today I'm genuinely going to share a story about my life, like where as a 6-year-old I have seen my father really struggle with his health. Like there was a point of time when his pulse was 29, and I've seen my mother being that source of strength. And I was 6, my brother is 16, and she's pulled us through. Touch wood, they are doing well. But during pandemic, I was of course working with another company, and I saw one of my closest friends' mother pass away just like that, and it was difficult. I am a person who runs away from grief and death, and anything that I see, it just breaks me. How do you handle death and grief in life? Is there a defense that you've already found in life?
I think the closest person that I've lost so far is my grandmom, who sort of like brought me up because my parents were sort of like traveling every time I was back home when I was a child. And I lost her just before I got into the industry, like debuted with my first film. And she was the closest to me in my family. And I had lost her, and I've realized after that that my dealing with death is extremely different than what I thought it would be. I thought I'd be like, drained in tears, like, just like not eating, not, just disconnected from the world. But surprisingly, I was angry. Like the only time I genuinely got angry from my heart was when she passed. I was like, I didn't shed a tear. It was just like so much anger which had built up, and I was like, no, this is, it was that. But that's the only time I dealt with anger as an anger, So that was my defense, I think, with grief and death and everything. And I don't know, like maybe tomorrow something else would happen, and I don't know how I'll react to it because this is something which we generally don't think about. But every time of course, there was a part of me when I was shooting for the film, and I was like, how am I going to deal about my parents? My parents not being here anymore. And I don't know, I feel numb about it. Like I don't know how to react to it yet.
No, it's same thing, because I've been in Bombay for 8 years, been homesick, and every day I have this, I don't know, there's a strange thing when I'm low and I just feel like, oh, would there be a day when I will not have them and I'll regret staying away from them for so long? Like there's a part of that also in the movie where the kids are away, the kids are a little disconnected physically with the parents. Emotionally, I'm very connected to my parents. I think I'm one of those child who will call my mom and say, listen, you've not called me for 3 days. What is this? I would want people to call me like 10 times.
Too.
Exactly. That's I relate to you. But there is that side, like you said, like, you feel that what will happen when they're not there. Do you feel that sense of catharsis when you think about those times? When you feel like, do you feel that there'll be a sense of regret that we've not gotten time to spend enough with them?
I think I'm already feeling a little sad that I don't get to sort of like stay with them and see them growing up. Seeing your parent also grow up is something, like example, I've seen my mom since she was 17, 18 to now she's like 42, 40. Like, it's amazing how you see your family, your parents' growth also as you're growing up.
True.
And every year, every emotion, every dealing that they go through, it's different and it's more mature. So you've seen them grow up, and I have a little sister who's like, 8 years old, and I'm like, I don't get to see the growing up, I just get to see the grown up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I miss it a lot, but again, I'm this person who's receiving so much love from everyone out there,
True.
and I feel equally responsible for them. So this is the sacrifice that I think my family has made for people out there, and they're very proud of me. And
Of
I
course
know
they
that when they're not here anymore, they will be equally as proud. But yes, there will be a little sadness in my heart that I couldn't or am not be there.
I must say this to ma'am and sir, that they should genuinely be proud of you. Of course, the performer that you are, but more so the human being that you are. I think that you have a strange way of connecting with people around you. I feel that you are one of those people who can make everybody in the room smile, even when you're going through the deepest, sorry for using this word, deepest shit in your own life. And that's a talent, that's a rarity in today's times. How do you manage to do that? How?
I've realized that being happy and being kind is so not normal now. Like, just being happy is a effort that people put in, in this generation or in our lives, that it's just easy. And I know that everyone is dealing with something or the other
Yeah.
in their own lives. And I don't want to be this person who's throwing off attitude or throwing out of negativity and make it harder for them. I want to, like, everyone who talks to me, everyone who works with me, everyone who spends time with me, when you talk to someone and you feel better,
True.
I want to be that person. I don't want to drain people out. There are too many things in their lives draining them out already. I want to be a little sparkle in their life. So I'm going to just be like, no matter, even I'm dealing with gazillion things, but I don't have to show it to anyone. This is my journey to deal with. So I will do that. But when you're talking to me, I'm this.
Yeah, because I remember 3 days ago when we met, I was definitely going through something, and I heard that you were here. And I thought that, no, I really need this. I really need to meet her. And the 5 minutes, 10 minutes that we spent and we spoke, and then I just felt so happy, which is what I wrote, that, I just needed this today maybe. But Rashmika, at the same time, when you talk about your own life and your own career, you've been an accidental actor. You never really planned it. So, of course, your mom and dad are also not from the industry. They don't have that industry pedigree. You never had that. Was it difficult for them to first adjust to your lifestyle, because you have to stay away from them, and so many things happening? Sometimes you say that you can deal with the negativity, but sometimes I just get to a point where your mom, dad, and your sister, they get affected with whatever is happening.
Yes. So, see, I've grown up in a hostel also. So for me, staying away from my parents were never a problem, because you stay 8 months in the hostel and the rest of the time you get to go back home in the holiday, right? So for me, that was never a problem. But constantly staying away for so long, and after your sister happened, and you've literally, like, when she was born, I would feed her, I would, change her diapers, I would bathe her. I was her second mama. So to move from that to now not being able to see her grow up was a little painful. And of course, when there's like negativity wrapped around, there are these phases where something happens and negativity starts forming and all of that. And like you said, I don't have a family which is out of a film and everything. So it was really hard, I think, initially for my parents to sort of like get adjusted, because I think there was a point in which my mom thought industry was something which we had control over. Whatever we want to do, we can do in the industry. And she had to learn it in a hard way that that wasn't right. And no matter what your family does, at the say, you're an actor, you're the artist, you're the face. So that'll come on you.
Yeah.
Whatever they say, whatever they do, that
True.
comes on you. And now we've figured out that, you know what, you're not from the industry. So don't involve yourself in the industry, because you can't take so much. We're from Coop.
Yeah.
We don't have so much of a broad mind. So you guys live your life. This is your life. Don't let this go, because this is not easy. You live a comfortable, happy life. If my sister wants to get into the films or, any industry later on, she still has a long way to go.
Yeah.
Let me do my thing, because I'm an artist. This is my life. This is my journey. Let me make my own choices. Don't try to control over my life, because world is not the way you think
True.
it is.
True.
It's so much bigger. It's so much harder. So I had to give that lesson being a daughter and being an artist.
Yeah, they do learn a lot from the kids.
They have to. They have to, because the generation gap, the mentality, and they're born and brought up in Coog, and Coog is such place that everyone knows everyone there, and that is just a small community. So the second you come out of there and you face the world slaps you on your face and says, "You're nobody here. You're just like this small particle in this big wide world."
True.
So they had to learn it in a hard way, because back in Cook, they have everything that they want. They have the money, they have, they walk out of the house and they're waving at everyone. They're those kind of people. But out there in the world, that doesn't happen. It's not graceful enough.
True.
So I had to teach them that, and they learned it now, and they're comfortable in their lives, and they're taking care of my sister. My parents are happy. Here I am as an artist trying to figure out my life and how I am about in the world. So yeah, it was a journey and a lesson for all of us.
One thing that I want to ask you is that when you talk about being from Kurg and being from a small town, when you made that transition to get into films, which is a form of art, there could be a lot of questions and apprehensions, especially when it's not a typical job. We are almost from the same generation. Like when I decided to do journalism, because I was a good science student, so a lot of people actually targeted my mom and dad because they couldn't target me.
Yeah.
So did that happen with your parents when they allowed you to be who you wanted to be and what you wanted to be?
As in, my parents, I think, as far as I've heard from whatever they've said, that they've always been dealing with something like this. Because having a son in the family generally is like, okay, now there's someone to take care of the properties, But we are two daughters. We don't have any boy in our family. So they were always, said, ki, okay, why do you just have to give your daughter out to someone else and all of that. That's the mentality. So today I stand as a son and a daughter to them. So, thank you. So I think today it's come to the point where everyone looks up for the support that my family has given me. Because all these years, 5 years, from Coog, I've come to Bangalore, I've come to Hyderabad, I've gone to Chennai, now I'm in Bombay. So people are seeing this growth, and when people see me in the news and not personally, they're like, okay, she's also been able to do all of this because of her parents.
Yeah.
Because she has that support. And they get so much of respect and love now that they've passed on from,
it'll be easier for your sister for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, but surprisingly, when she's getting into school and all, we don't tell she's my sister.
Oh.
I tell her, okay, people will get to know later, but your seat, it's for you to make. So write those exams, learn those questions and go there and sit like a normal person. We're not going to give you like the shortcut, easy route and all that, nothing.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, you have had a different kind of struggle, or your father and mother, they have had a different kind of struggle to explain to the people around that this is a choice that my daughter has made and I'm standing by.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll change. See, now I've proved them wrong. Now it's my sister's journey to prove them wrong.
Absolutely.
So I think every child is answerable to their own, journeys. So I don't think they're going to be merciful for them or her also. They're going to do the same thing for her. She's going to beat them on the same way, and she's going to come out in flying colors.
Absolutely.
I know it.
Absolutely.
She's a bomb.
Yeah. I think the younger siblings are always
Yeah, I'm the queen.
The diva, my brother will agree. They have to take care of us. They have to make a lot of sacrifice and always respect. Huh?
Brats.
We are brats.
Proper brats.
We get a lot more leeways because our father and mothers have already tried and tested the formula. And my brother is also 10 years older. So they're like, मेरे टाइम पे 80% फ्रीडम था, मेरे टाइम पे तो 100 क्या 150% था यार, जाओ कुछ नहीं. Absolutely. Another really striking point from the trailer and the song, I love Amit ji and Neena ji's love story.
Oh man, oh my god.
I think they stopped making love stories like our parents' love stories is what I feel. My mom and dad actually got married against their family's wishes.
Really?
It was like a full filmy marriage.
Aw.
And now both their sons are not getting married
One
and
day
they're
you
getting
should get
fried.
them on the couch and talk to them about that.
I've already done it. I'll send you a link.
Oh, please now.
Part 1, part 2 karke. But
So cool.
so basically they ran away and they got married, whatever, against
Aw.
family's wishes. People thought that they'll not last, but they've lasted 43 years. This is 43rd year. So
Well done. Congratulations.
44 started actually. But I want to know that when you see a love story like that, you know, which is classic, which is beautiful, and you've grown up watching them, you tend to idolize. Like people say that when you see your father and mother working in a certain environment, so you also want to go veer towards that. When you see them having a love story which is based out of compassion, adjustment, a lot of compromising in a nicer way where they're there for each other, they support. You tend to expect that in relationships. Do you feel like we are living in a generation where that is too difficult or a rarity to find? And maybe possibly that's why we are not landing anywhere.
I think, see, again, when you come to example in my real life, my parents were arranged marriage and my mom was too young, so my dad had to like literally feed her and take care of her
Sweet.
like one baby and all of that. So I don't think in our generation now we can expect anyone to feed us. They were like
Could happen in films only.
only in films. But I think again, all of these journeys are ours alone. I don't sort of like, I can't connect my journey or the character Tara's journey to anyone else's.
Yeah.
You don't meet the same like-minded people. You are talking to different people, meeting different people, falling in love, and then, you know, you see if your energies match, and then you sort of like, I don't know, get married or whatever. But it's lovely to get to know these stories, ki how your parents in real or real life, you know, sort of like fell in love, got married and everything. It's their journey. Again, I truly believe in having one's own journey, letting people make their own choices. That is very important for me because that's what made me the person I am today. And no matter all of my friends today, if they were like, okay, this is what is happening, what should we do and all of that, I sort of like never tell them, okay, this is wrong, this is right. I'm like, what is your choice? What do you feel like? Okay, this is your journey, go for it. You know, so I'm that person, yeah. So I think my journey is going to be my own. Let's see. I hope everything goes well, but yeah.
I will not tell you which producer I was sitting with, but one of the producers, female producers, actually told me that, you know, no matter what people are talking about whoever, but Rashmika is going to be the next big superstar. And I'll tell you later after this. who wrote
Really?
This, yeah.
Aww.
So there is that impression about you already because you've dabbled between different industries. We've suddenly come to terms with the pan-India content and pan-India the word right now. Even last time when we were doing that interview, Pushpa hadn't released.
Yeah.
So that whole breeze had not happened.
Yeah.
Today, do you find that, you know, you were talking about how you have had to shift from one industry to the other. Do you feel that today we are living at a point where all those lines are blurred? Like today when you can do this, you're doing a Sitaramam, you're doing another film, you're doing this, that, for different industries.
I feel like I'm a multi-regional actor.
Fact.
Now from pan-Indian actor, I've become a multi-regional actor because I love this. I think this is the best time in the industry to be in. The lines are blurring, the languages are becoming, you know, one. Everyone from every corner of the country is watching our films and celebrating our films openly, which is amazing because I think there was this point where people loved the film, but they wouldn't celebrate the film.
True.
Now they're openly celebrating it,
True.
which is amazing. And I'm though doing a Tamil film, doing a Telugu film, doing a Kannada film, doing a Hindi film. I'm very happy.
Fab. Just
I like sort of like learning that language, sort of like, you know, dubbing in that language, shooting in that language. So I think I'm a multi-regional actor.
absolutely. And why not? Finally, before we end this conversation, I want to...
Why?
No, we'll do a fun stuff after this also.
Later. Okay.
This is like a very emotional heart-to-heart thing.
Aw.
So, one thing that I struggle with is saying goodbye to people. Like if I was there at home for 4 days, my mother was here for 6 months with me, but I had to say goodbye and I know she's coming back in 10 days.
Yeah.
But that goodbye hurts. So is it the same with you? And if there's one part of your life which you have kept somewhere where you feel like, no, this is the part of my life or this is the thing that I want to say goodbye to completely. like you need closure or whatever, goodbye to, what would it be?
I dislike goodbyes. All of us do. I am this person who gets emotionally connected to people. So I don't like this part where I can't see them, for a while. I don't like that. But with Goodbye, the film, now, I've realized that we're talking about goodbye, matlab, I'll see you again. That's become my goodbye now. So whoever I say goodbye to, I'm like, I'm going to see you again. I'm going to see you quite soon, really fast. So I think this film has changed that, the mentality, the thought a little. But if there's anything that I want to say goodbye to, COVID. Please go away.
We all want to.
Yeah, please go away.
Yeah, it's given us anxiety issues for almost 2
Like
years.
how? I thought the lockdown was going to be for like 3, 4, 7 days. It went on for like some 8 months.
Yeah, and I have been really, really unkind to my parents because I was so stressed, so anxious, and I remember I put them through a lot of trouble because of this, because of my anxiety issues related to their health. But one thing that this movie teaches, I do it now for quite some time, and I know that it's gonna teach that to a generation, that we really need to get up and tell our mom and dad that we love you. We love you to be here. We love you for who you are. And we don't do that enough. We really need to spend a lot more time with them because we are growing up and they're growing old, which is a very, very sad reality.
But also, do you realize that not just parents, but keep it your best friend from school,
Yeah.
or anyone who you once connected to in your life, just a random call or just a random message will actually make their heart happy.
That's true.
Just to hear their voice one more time, because there was this point where one of my seniors from school, suddenly, who I was quite close to back in school, after that we hadn't spoken to in a long time, but suddenly I heard this news ki he passed. And he was like, what? He's 20, he would be 26 this year. So I'm like, no, 28 this year. I'm 26. Okay. But it was just so sudden that I was like, my God, each of our lives are so important that whoever you're close to, whoever you want to connect to, are connected with, please make them a call or a voice note or, a message, because it's important.
Absolutely, it is. And I feel it's important to be kind and affectionate and sensitive towards other people's emotions. That's possibly something that I know that you do really, really well. That's possibly something that my mother has taught me to do well. I just feel that we live in a stage where that is often judged and shamed and people find it to be fake, but you cannot fake 365 days in your life. So people really need to know that. And thank you for this lovely conversation. I said that it's not going to be an interview. I just didn't want it to be.
It wasn't.
Thank you.
Had fun. Yay. Hi everyone, this is Rashmika Mandanna and you're watching my video, our video, this beautiful faces video only on Bollywood Bubble. Please like, share and subscribe. Sending you love.